Hey there, hi there, ho there. This is Dee-Dee Devon from Divine Intervention Lifestyle and Nutrition Health Coaching, doing my very first IGTV live Instagram video. So I hope it works because obviously I've never done anything like this before. But I figured, what the heck, feel the fear and do it anyways. What I want to share with you today are six catalyzing questions to take you out of despair and back into hopefulness. I want to talk to you about getting unstuck because I actually was doing some cleaning, organizing, decluttering, and I came across these power questions that I used early on in my health coaching practice that were always my go to questions when I felt stuck in a rut. When I was falling into despair about not making enough money, conflict in my relationship, or maybe my eating habits have fallen off track. Maybe I was panicked about time, not enough spaciousness, feeling victimized, like no personal freedoms, right? And all these things can have us spin into a rut and go through these cycles where we're hopeful, optimistic, feeling more fierce than we think, everything's aligned, we're doing it all, we're getting it right, things are going on. And then COVID 19. We have these times where it's downpouring of despair, anxiety, hopelessness, worry. Like right now is just another one of those times. So, I was excited to share with you today one of the things that I think is so incredible about being a coach is that you're a collector of powerful questions. And I don't tell people what to do. You have the answers within you. And my job is to have you, if you're really honest, answer those questions within and for yourself. And so the quality of the questions can be really empowering. And there are some questions that are sort of medium frequency, and some questions don't really move the needle at all. And then there's these high mileage questions that can kind of unlock that rut and get things moving again. So I wanted to share with you six catalyzing questions that I recently found in an old notebook, and I'd love to share those with you now. Are you ready? Okay, six power questions to get unstuck. Number one, what's not perfect yet? And I'm not just talking about this particular single event that we're now plagued with, but I'm talking in general. And to notice that it's very deliberately worded because that's when we start to be hard on ourselves, is when we want it all to be just so perfect and anything that's off starts to arrest all of our attention, where we're not even focused anymore on anything that's going well. We're just focused on, even if it's a small thing, it captures our attention and almost engulfs us. So, this question helps us notice where our fixation is and on what's not perfect yet is the key word. And that's the first question. The next question is, what's good about this? What's the positive intention? What's good about this? In other words, what's the opportunity here? Is this really a crisis, or is it an opportunity or an invitation that's happening? The next question, what am I willing to do to make it the way I want it? What am I willing to do to make it the way I want it? I was just thinking for a second, because it's not always about our resources, it's about our resourcefulness. Okay, now these questions only work if you're willing to be radically honest. And what am I willing to do to make it the way I want? Okay, the next question, what am I no longer willing to do or tolerate? no longer willing to do or tolerate. Said even simpler, what must I drop or what must I let go of? Because in order to get to your next highest evolution, we usually need to let go of something that we hold dear. Um, is it a way of thinking, a belief? Is it something that's taking up your time unnecessarily? Is it a distraction or a narrative? This is very important to notice the stories you're telling. Are you telling a story about yourself that's actually victimizing, disempowering, and therefore you're further anchoring in and even getting others to commiserate with you around this disempowering story? And that's not very helpful. It is okay to tell a story to be witnessed in your pain. But I had a teacher who told me you can tell that story to be witnessed 3 times because there is power in being witnessed, and there is power in being, there's healing in being witnessed, excuse me, and saying, yes, this is the experience you're having. Yes, that happened to you. And it is not to deny your experience, it is to be witnessed so that we can move on. But after you come to me with that story 3 times, the 4th time, I'm closing the door. No more. And it's helpful to ask people in your life to hold you accountable to that. If I come to you with this story about why I can't be, do, or have what I want you to mirror me back. Say, hey, you're telling that story again, and I would like you to tell a new story. And that can be very empowering. So I digressed a little bit. What must I let go of? Okay, let me review them again really quick. First one, what's not perfect yet? Second one, what's good about this? In other words, what's the opportunity or the invitation? Third question, what am I willing to do to make it the way I want? Fourth question, what am I no longer willing to do or tolerate? In other words, what must I drop? Now, the fifth question, what's the action worth taking based on these new insights? What's the action worth taking based on these new insights? And the sixth question, one of my favorites, how can I enjoy the process? Ding, ding, ding. Fireworks, drum roll. Because when you're finding when we're finding ourselves stuck in a rut, stuck at home, you know what's going on, people? You're not having enough fun. You're taking ourselves way too seriously. And it's time to push the play button, which, by the way, is the same as the pause button, and have a little fun. So, how can you enjoy the process? What do you need to do to enjoy it? That's why I put on my bright sweater with little stars, my gold earrings today, but to have fun in the process. So I'm wondering, can you see yourself using these 6 power questions to get unstuck, to start to feel more empowered? I like to say that whatever is happening is not happening to you, and it's still a little egocentric to say it's happening for you. The truth is, it's what's happening through you. It's about who you get to become on the journey, which is more resilient, more mature, more emotionally intelligent, more flexible versus rigid, and ultimately more kind and compassionate to yourself. And that you're going through a process, and life is a series of changes, right? And intelligence is how we adapt to those changes. Nothing can happen in panic and fear. Okay, I just want to explanation point that. You start to get old when you lose your ability to adapt. And that's what it's all about. So we're learning emotionally, mentally, physically, how to adapt to change, because change is not a power struggle whereby if change occurs, we win. Change should really feel like dancing, not wrestling. Oh, that's a good one. I have to write that one down. I'm going to steal that one. Uh, the conversation about change should feel like dancing, not wrestling. So, I hope you find these questions handy, and you might post it on your wall, post them to your refrigerator, post them on the side of your computer. I put all kinds of notes with power questions next to my computer so that during the day I'm seeing these and making sure that my attention is where I want it to be, which is on empowering questions versus disempowering questions, on empowering thoughts and beliefs versus disempowering thoughts and beliefs, um, versus narratives that have me move forward in a direction towards what I want and who I want to be and how I want to see myself, versus narratives that kill myself. Okay. I have, that's it. However, since I have the time and nothing else better to do, I do have a few more ways or suggestions to cut through those disempowering narratives for you, and how to snap yourself out of it and stand up tall again when you're facing anxiety, worry, and despair, and worrying about things not working out, how to pick yourself up again, or you're just not, you're not feeling it. And so, for the sake of time, and since I'm stuck at home, and as long as you want to listen to me, I'm just going to run off a few more ideas. Uh, okay, so for me, I've been doing this a while. I prefer the one stop shop or the shortcut question. I'm sure you've all heard of the 12 steps. Okay. Well, I like the shortcut one step. The one question I always ask myself is, does this serve my highest purpose? And if it doesn't serve my highest purpose, I choose anything else. Creativity is also our superpower. Another great question to ask yourself is it true? What I'm thinking or worrying about, can I absolutely positively be sure that it's true? And it's usually not true, it's just a story. Shower in nature always changes my mind. Um, I have another practice, I call it the 10-second rule. I allow myself, and that's the key word, I allow myself to feel whatever negative emotions I might be feeling. So if it's worry, if it's fear, if it's anxiety, resentment, overwhelm, I count to 10 and I go in and I feel all the feels of this feeling, because at the count of 10, I'm going to change my attitude. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little slower, but you get the picture. And as I get to 10, I literally say out loud, change your attitude. And you got to know what you want to change it to. That helps to do that beforehand. And sometimes I have to go through 2 or 3 cycles before I can finally get out of whatever it is I'm hanging onto and adopt this new emotion. And it helps to exercise that muscle on a regular basis, because that's power. That really is power, to be able to change state or to choose to change your state. You've heard of this saying, come to your senses? That's what it's all about. Another way to change your state or come to your senses is to grab an essential oil, a smell, a calming scent, possibly. I keep this lavender by my desk, and often I'll, or sometimes a lot, and it's just like a diffuser uh, that helps change your state. You can put on a song, something that you're listening to. It could be a taste. I'm going to eat something sweet and I'm going to become that taste sweet, right? I can eat something spicy if I need a little fire. Um, is that we can come to our senses and it's not about this big story. It's just about right here, right now, and who can we be and how can we get our systems, our nervous system, into that state. I work out to get unstuck. If you want to change your emotion, change your motion. Dance party. Okay. A few other tools I have in my personal toolkit for my personal clients, and they are something you can Google. I won't go into it here, but it's called either EBT, Emotional Brain Technique, or and also EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Uh, you can Google those. You can ask yourself, whatever you're experiencing, is it helpful or hindering your progress? And then whether or not I want to continue with that experience. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I find myself in a funk and I actually am committed to being in a bad mood. And I'm more committed to being in a bad mood than I am getting in a good mood. And there's something empowering about acknowledging uh, that you know that. I'm not done storming in this bad mood yet. I'm just going to give myself permission to be here as long as I need to be. So we're not conquering it, fighting it. It's just, you know what? I'm actually choosing it. And that's proactive choice that I'm cool because at least that's empowering. So you're not being victimized by it. It's saying, no, I'm proactively choosing to feel stuck about this right now for another 10 minutes, for another hour, or maybe all day. You know, I want to be in a bad mood all day. And sometimes you do, and then you're getting ready to let go. So, but that's more empowering. And so I'm choosing, and again, choice is freedom. All right. I hope you enjoyed this and thank you for bearing with me. I will maybe do it again. And follow me. I always have tips, but I'm better behind the computer than I am live. It's been my complete pleasure to be with you today. Hang in there. You're not alone. I love you. Namaste.